Hello, tribe. My name is Jennifer D'Amato. I had posted yesterday about what I call macro batching for my social media, marketing, posts, advertising, whatever you're using that for, just giving valuable content. So I thought I would just share with each of you what it is that I do, how I do it, just some of the apps that I use. I have chosen to do it for free as far as I'm not paying any of the services. A lot of them have the option for that. So I just do some cropping and things like that. So I'll just kind of go through my process, share what I do. And then if you guys have any questions, you can let me know. I hope that this blesses somebody out there. I know when I shared it on the 2K, I was blown away actually of how many people love this. The reason I do macro batching, and again, some people call it mega batching. I call it macro because we live in the world of nutrition. But the reason I do this kind of batching with my marketing, my social media, is because I can take a chunk of time and I guesstimate about 2 to 4 hours a month. And that's from start to finish, that I get an entire month of posts and content done. So that means the rest of the month I'm clicking each morning and my posts are up on all of my social media formats. I use Instagram. It links to my Twitter and it links to my Facebook business page. So with one click, I'm doing all of that. And with batching, I'm already done. So I'm not inventing something each day. I've already done it. So again, I just want to kind of walk through the process. If you have any specific questions, just give a holler. So the first thing I do, I actually have this great planner. People have asked me about this planner. I shared it early on in my journey. It is, I got it on Amazon. It's by Tools for Wisdom Planner. I love this planner. I like it because it is a open flat when it's on my desk. And before I had an online booking, I was actually using this because I'll show you, I was able to block out my days. I love block scheduling. Was able to easily put my practice clients when I started and then my paying clients this way, again, until I had an online booking. That's what I was using. I also love that there's places for goals each year and each month. That way you can be, staying on task. So what I use for my social media is I actually take the month plan and I have everything written out for the entire month. This is what my post will be. I also usually have some notes here. I happen to be doing a series on Friday right now for the month of November. So I needed my notes for each part of that series that I'm doing on hiring a health coach. So everything's in here. I actually block out certain days of the week. I do just like health and nutrition quotes. Monday, I always, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen every Monday I do a Monday morning mindset. So all of my Monday posts are in that theme. They continue a sentence actually. And then Wednesdays are always workout Wednesdays. So there's something about workouts or exercise, fitness, movement. There's going to be something about that on Wednesdays. Friday, I'm running a series. Like I said, for November, it's about hiring a health coach and reasons to that, answering some questions. So that one gets switched out. However, the first thing I do is this part. This might be old school. Obviously, you could use Google Calendars. You could do something digital, but I like handwriting it out. I go on Pinterest. I take quotes from my clients. I take quotes from books that I'm reading that I find value in. So that's where all of this content for every day. And I plan 5 days a week. Saturdays are hit or miss for me. My weekends are pretty much for my family. And again, blocking that time out. So those are usually a little bit more flexible. I generally don't post on Sunday at all, maybe in my story. But again, 5 days a week, the content is created right on here before anything else. So that's step one for me, is to have all the content written out. And then I'll grab my iPad. I just happen to do this on my iPad. It works really well for me because I have a wireless keyboard, so I can sit there and type. The next thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to take that content that I've created and I'm going to create really beautiful, bold, eye-catching images. especially if I'm putting a quote out there, something from a book, I don't know, a fitness quote, whatever it is that I'm putting out there, I want it to be eye-catching. I want it to also be simple enough that the image isn't distracting. I use Typorama. Again, there's so many apps out there, guys, and whatever you find that works for you. I've got some natural, beautiful light going into Arizona, so I hope you guys can see. That's the symbol for Typorama. What I love is you can search right on here. So what I've shown people, I just typed in health, and gosh, look at these images. And these are all free. So the one thing, let me show you guys one real quickly that's beautiful. So what you'll do is you'll come in, you just really set the size that you want. I always do an Instagram post. When you hit next, and here's where, again, if you want to pay for the services, if that's where you are in your business, then go ahead and do that if it's totally worth the money for you. For me, I just like it free, so you can see this is gonna show up. I always crop that out. But look at those images. It's just beautiful. Lots of free text options. Again, there's pro options on this, and there are other apps besides Typorama. We can get the name of it. Typorama is the one that I use. So then I'm going to go in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all my images, my quotes, everything. I end up creating all of my content. I'll show you guys that real quickly. I create all of my content. I have all of my images on here. Always, always, always have something that denotes this is who you are. I happen to use my website. You can use your Instagram handle, your Facebook. You can just put your name. There's a lot of options on here. So I just show you a few. These images, they're just great. So again, I create everything that's going to be posted. I create all of them ahead of time. Then this is the piece de resistance. This is called Plann, Plann. There's a paid option for this as well. I don't use the paid option. I use what's free because all I'm doing is clicking each morning. So what you'll do is all of my images are already in here. I can actually go back and see it looks just like my Instagram would because these have all been posted already. So what I'll do is show you guys just real quick when I'm about ready to go in and post a new photo. Here's what, so I put my images in there and then it gives you a space for your content. So what I do is after I've done all of my calendar work, I've done all of my images, my quotes, some of them happens to be my Workout Wednesday. Some of them are photos. What I do is I do all of my content in here, type everything out, what I want to say that day, and then it gives you the option to set a time. I know that's backwards, but if you get Plann, Plann, you'll see it. I set my reminder, and I set my reminder for 7 a.m., just the time that works for me, and I find that I get feedback all day long with that. So I set my reminder 7 a.m. for the day that it's going to post. Again, I have that already in my calendar. I know when that's going. That morning, it will give me a little reminder. I click copy and post. It opens up Instagram. I select that it's going in my feed, paste the content. It's already copied. That's just how the app works. Done. All of my hashtags are already in the post. So if you go to my Instagram account and you want to just see how it looks when it's finished, actually I can probably pull that up for you guys if I can grab that quickly. Once it's done, I actually go into Instagram and I take that post and throw it into my story as well, usually with some kind of blurb because I get a lot of traction in my story. So I use different hashtags in there and I get a lot of traction on there. So like I said, it looks just like your feed does here. If I click on this, I just want to show you guys how my hashtags, they're all in here in the post. And it's done. I just click, oh goodness me, Jen. This right here, so I can go ahead and add my post to my story directly, hashtag it, click it, because some people, they'll find me on there, so I want to direct them to that post, which also always contains an invitation. If you happen to look at any of my posts on Instagram, you'll notice that there's always an invitation included in there. And I believe that's so important. Just giving people the opportunity to think about working with you. You know, they may not be your soulmate client. They may not be the one that you're definitely going to work with. However, I always include an invitation, because the reason they've read through that entire post and gotten to the invitation is usually because what you are speaking about, the content you're putting out there, has value to them. It resonates with them. So I always want to include the invitation with my post. So if you have, I would say I probably didn't even include this, but, and you guys are probably already at that point where you know who your soulmate client is. You already have the picture of him or her in your head, that you've written that out even. So when I know who my soulmate client is, I know who that person is that I want to partner with, and I'm creating all of my content with that person in mind. So again, you'll actually really notice a theme. It's about weight loss. It's for the chronic dieter, the person who's tried it all. That's who I'm always speaking to, because that's who I want to draw in. That's who I want to invite into that conversation. Okay, so quickly recap. I know I'm taking up a lot of your time here. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I love blessing other coaches with this stuff. So I do my calendar where everything is laid out. I work on all of the visual content first, and then I go in using Plann, Plann, and create all of the written word content, including my hashtags. I always set the date and time based on my calendar. The day of, Plann gives me a little reminder in the morning while I'm having my coffee. I click, paste, post, done. So that way, like this morning, I didn't have to think about anything. I just came in. My iPad had reminded me at 7 this morning that I needed to post, copied that to my story. And then the great thing is, if you do lives, if you do stories, which you should, again, a great coach of mine had told me, you need to get yourself out there. They need to see your personality. It's definitely been a game changer for me. You already have the content of what you can speak on that day for the whole month. So if you've already created the content, you're like, well, I don't know what to do for a live. I'm not sure what I'm going to speak on today. You already have the content. Speak on what that content is that you've created for that day for your post. So even on your plan, sometimes I'll write what my live is, and if there's something I want to touch on, I usually always have notes, just a little guide for myself for my lives, because I'm a bit of a chatty Kathy, as you can tell. And I want to stay on track. Another thing from a great mentor coach that I can pass on to all of you. Again, I hope this blesses someone out there. I hope that you guys find value in it about macro batching. If you have any questions, let me know. I am in no way an expert on social media or posting, but this has been a game changer, where it's not outsourcing my content. I do believe that you need to understand the process before you outsource. And I'm not at a place in my business where I'm outsourcing my marketing, my social media. However, I have taken all of guesswork, stress, anxiety about what to post, what am I going to say today? I've taken it all away just by doing the macro batching. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. It is gorgeous here in Arizona. If you're headed to Austin, I'm sure it'll be just as beautiful there for live. I cannot encourage you guys to go enough. Be safe in your travels. Have a wonderful rest of your day.